All right, guys. Moving on to Microsoft. Hit me up with some of them nasty predictions.
You can lead.
You want me to go first?
Mm-hmm. Let's get some
See
Colin
what
action
wrong
going
ass
on.
bullshit you got this time.
Microsoft will spend a significant time talking about Minecraft.
Ooh.
I think that there's going to be some sort of big, meaty announcement for it, whether it's an update of some sort that is Xbox One and PC exclusive, something to justify the purchase of Mojang, the $2.5 or $3 billion they spent on the company. Obviously, Minecraft 2 is the big thing that they're certainly investing in. I don't think it's time or it's not the place or time to announce that yet. There's no reason to rush that game out. Mm-hmm. But I think there's something to be said about Minecraft, and that's a powerful game to talk about at your conference to get eyes on your conference.
Yep.
And I wouldn't even be surprised if that was teased before the conference to get people that are just Minecraft fans engaged in the Xbox community, since they're now all one. Since we're not going to obviously see Minecraft 2 probably on PlayStation, for instance. So I would expect them to talk about Minecraft, talk about Mojang, and either, talk about maybe future project, but more likely talk about how they're going to support Minecraft going forward on Xbox and on PC.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Do you think that Minecraft, the story mode, is going to be a big part of that?
No. The Telltale game?
Yep.
No.
Do you think they'll show it at Microsoft's conference?
No. I don't think that game's ready for prime time just yet. That's a Telltale thing. They got a lot of other stuff to get through. A lot of other games.
You'll hear about it a week before it comes out.
Exactly. Yeah. No. All right. There'll be some reveal and then it'll pop up. Yeah. All right. Hey guys, you know that Halo 5? Mm-hmm. We're gonna do another beta, and it starts right now. That's what they'll do.
That's exactly
Halo 5 beta starting right there, right that day. That's them turning on the servers and the information flooding out to everybody. And everybody goes, and Fredo goes, why am I here? I'm so beautiful. I'm Alfredo Diaz.
Classic Fredo, yeah.
With the announcement of Windows 10's release date in July, they'll go into Windows 10's functionality with Xbox One, which I assume is going to be somewhat imminent because Windows 10's entire thing is that it runs on everything, all your devices.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be seamless. So I think that Windows 10 will somehow function with Xbox One in some way, and they will show you how that's going to happen at the conference with the release date in July, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the Halo, because I thought you were jumping off of that. Do you think we'll
I
get
don't have anything to say
the
about
release date?
For Halo?
Mm-hmm.
It's already out, isn't it?
What did you say for Halo?
October 27th?
Yeah, I thought Halo.
October
Shit,
27th.
man, I've been out of it.
Yeah,
It
October
might be.
27th.
Damn. All right. True shit. Man, October.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Don't worry. Hey, Fredo's on it.
Yeah. He's in line right now. Okay. Next up.
They end with one more thing trailer. It's Battletoads.
Okay.
It's a teaser, maybe not a full blown trailer, but you're getting some Battletoads up there.
Quantum Break was delayed. Remedy's game, as we know.
Correct.
It gets a release date of very early 2016, probably February 2016.
Okay.
Xbox One exclusive. And they'll probably talk about the TV show too.
Well, that's on the disc or whatever. That's part of the game.
Yeah, but like they're
actually going to detail how it goes into?
Yeah.
That's nice. Cliff Bleszinski comes out, announces that Blue Streak is a console exclusive to Xbox One.
I like that.
I like that one.
That's a gutsy one.
Yeah, I know. You got to swing for the fences sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
My other ones are boring.
Lionhead's been quiet for a while, so their new game will be revealed. And as they've talked about, I think they talked about last December, it is not Fable related at all. Obviously, Fable Legends is being made by another studio, so...
Did that game ever come out?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think so. Or maybe it has.
I'm checking. I'm on it.
So Lionhead will announce their new game. There's not going to be scant details about it. They'll have a logo and maybe a little bit of a CG trailer. The game is nowhere near being completed yet. But
Fable Legends hasn't come out.
No. But yeah, so Lionhead will be there. It's time to roll out some of these first parties.
Okay.
How do you feel about the Battletoads?
It seems like a feint to me. Phil Spencer was wearing a Battletoads shirt some months ago at a conference, but I think that was more in reference to Battletoads' inclusion in Shovel Knight than it was about Battletoads game being made again. Because as much as I think that would be interesting, nothing is more irrelevant to a 16-year-old or a 20-year-old today than Battletoads. There's literally nothing more irrelevant. So, like, I as much as I'd like to see that, it's just like it doesn't seem like we have to look at things through the lens of how Microsoft's conducting its business right now. This was the same thing we were talking about with Silent Hills. This totally ridiculous Silent Hills rumor. on Colin and Greg, where I was like, my problem with that rumor isn't that they're talking in Konami, because maybe they are, and it's possible that they took PT off of PlayStation Network as a sign of good faith. It's that they're spending billions of dollars on a series where they just spent $2.5 billion on Minecraft. I mean, there's not going to spend billions of dollars on Silent Hills. You have to look at it through the lens of the fact that Phantom Dust was rebooted and then canceled, and that studio shut down because they wanted $5 million to finish the game. They needed $5 million. So risking money on something like Battletoads, especially if Rare is going to make it, which is one of their internal studios, is a huge mistake, in my opinion, because it's like it seems like they want to maximize their dollars, and you maximize your dollars by making something more relevant. I would be shocked if they made Battletoads.
But they did Killer Instinct.
They did do Killer Instinct, but Killer Instinct to me makes way more sense, and it wasn't done internally. So it's like, to me, you have to use your resources to do things that make sense, right?
Sure.
Because Killer Instinct, wasn't that made by the guys that
Iron Galaxy.
So it's like, if you want to find a studio outside to do it, maybe that makes more sense. Maybe it's just a traditional side-scrolling kind of Shovel Knight-like game that's going to cost a few $1 million to make. But if it's Rare doing a game and reviving something, it's got to be something like Banjo-Kazooie, or Jet Force Gemini or something like that. It's got to be something.
Jet Force is more relevant
or
than
Perfect Dark.
Battletoads?
Something that has substance, that is more recent. Remember, the last Battletoads game is way older than Jet Force Gemini. So you have to have some touchstone that, that makes a little more sense to someone. And something like Battletoads transcended away from NES and SNES, but at the end of the day, that's kind of where it stopped.
Yeah, but I feel like Battletoads has something about it that's special just based on what it's called, because people are always going to kind of compare it to the Ninja Turtles. So it's like, even if it's not relevant, you know what Battletoads is just by hearing it. Then you see it and you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? I feel like even kids these days, even if they don't know what Battletoads is, they'll think of it and it's like, oh, it's cool and retro. Even if they never grew up with it, like there's a special place in their heart for it just by default.
Maybe. I think it's way more likely you see Perfect Dark or Banjo-Kazooie out of that studio, but maybe it's not contingent on that studio making it. I mean, they can do whatever they want with that IP.
I'd be excited for any of those three.
But
I'd just love to see it come back.
Yeah, Battletoads, I mean, it would be nice. I just feel like that's so obvious, that shirt. It seemed deeper to me until Shovel Knight came out. And then I was like, well, they're in Shovel Knight. That's got to be the relation to that shirt. Phil Spencer is a shrewd kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, that's interesting, though, that they're in Shovel Knight. Why are they in Shovel Knight?
Because I think that as far as I understand, I knew that Shovel Knight was coming to PlayStation for a long time. And I talked to Yacht Club several times about the fact that they were including a special character and they were trying to figure it out. It seemed like it was up to them. So I think that they just chose Kratos because that made sense to them, and they chose Battletoads because that's what they wanted to do. And the Battletoads functionality in Shovel Knight is fucking awesome. I don't know if you saw the stages.
I saw the video. I didn't play it.
Way cooler than Kratos.
Kratos was pretty cool, though.
It was cool, but Battletoads was way cooler. Both of them were good, but I was really impressed with the battle. Like watching that video for Battletoads, it's because it's a throwback to that fucking that NES game. Oh, that NES game. That son of a bitch NES game.
Dark Souls 3 is shown. Exclusive content for Xbox.
Exclusive content. Okay.
Right. You ever heard of it?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I heard of it.
Microsoft likes to do that sometimes.
Was that your fifth guess or your fourth
That
guess?
was my fourth.
So this will be my fifth.
Yes.
Twisted Pixel's been quiet for a long time.
Oh, they have been.
Twisted Pixel's owned by Microsoft. They made Loco Cycle. That was their last game. And they have a tendency to not do the same thing twice, with the exception of Splosion Man and Miss Splosion Man. They typically make a new kind of game. So my assumption is that, I think they did Gunslinger, right? Which was that Kinect game?
Yeah. The Spaghetti Western Kinect game.
So they'll come out on stage and reveal their new Xbox One game, and they've been quiet for so long that I think that game will be ready this year. It'll be an Xbox One exclusive.
Have they been quiet that long, you think?
2013 was when Loco Cycle came out.
That was, it was a launch game for Xbox One, wasn't it? It was the first game I played on Xbox One. It just doesn't feel like the Xbox One's been out long enough.
Yeah, they've been quiet. They've been quiet long enough where I think it's, it'll be 2 years by the time the game comes out. You don't invest in a studio that's not making games. So I think that they'll come out on stage and have something to say about their new game, and I think it'll be ready by the end of the year. And much like maybe Ori or State of Decay, it'll be on PC as well.
Yeah.
But they don't really talk about those kinds of things with these games. They kind of pretend that those things don't exist, which is the same thing Sony will probably do with Street Fighter. So yeah, I think these aren't quite as sexy of predictions as they are at Sony, but Microsoft frankly has less to choose from. In other words, their studios family is much smaller and much less glamorous, I think, in terms of name. They don't have a Naughty Dog or a Sucker Punch or a Sony Santa Monica. They have 343 and Black Tusk, and we know what they're doing already. So 343 is a great studio. Black Tusk is a great studio, very talented studio. But we know Black Tusk is working on Gears. We know 343 is busy with Halo. So there's when I was looking, I was like, am I forgetting anything? I was looking before, and I'm like, no, I'm looking at their list of studios, and I'm like, we kind of know what most of these guys are doing, with the exception of these few studios. So these are the guys that you have to kind of identify. That's what makes Microsoft's conference in a way more exciting, because their surprises are really going to be left field surprises, I think, as opposed to Sony, where you're like, well, it's got to come from one of these guys over here.
Sure. Okay. My final prediction for Xbox is Undead Labs comes out, reveals their teaser trailer, their first look at their new game, back to being more zombies, because they have the Moonrise game too. Zombies, but it's multiplayer. State of Decay multiplayer, pretty much, you'd think of it. Now, it's not what it's called, obviously.
Yeah.
Different thing happening here, but that's
Undead Labs already, they just released a game.
Yeah,
So
but it's just that was the up-res, right, with all their HD content and stuff like that. And I don't think that they're ready. I don't think it's ready. Like, we're shipping it tomorrow, but I think it's going to be like, hey, this is what we've been doing. We're glad, because it's such an easy lead-in, right? Of like Phil Spencer. A lot of you probably played State of Decay 1 year later, Survival Edition, sold X amount so much that brings life-to-date totals for the entire State of Decay franchise to this. Let's see what they've been up to, what their next thing is.
Yeah. You're good at this. You've seen a couple press conferences.
Well, I'm good at just bullshitting. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't usually do what I say.
So,
where
questions
the
for you
fuck's
guys.
Patapon?
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
What do we see? A demo?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Release date?
Definitely. Yes. Is there not a release date for that? That's this year.
I don't know.
No, there's no.
No,
release
but,
not
date.
good
but,
with
but it
release
is
dates.
confirmed this year. So yes, I think that'll be a prominent part of the conference.
Do you think I would imagine it opens?
It opens with that?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. They open with Call of Duty.
Oh, but didn't they finally break away from that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. But maybe I don't really remember.
Google's saying December 2015, but that could easily be placeholder.
There's no way that game's coming out in December. It'll come out in like November or October.
So there's
Or-
Gears Remastered. We'll see that.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. We know what Black Tusk is doing, right?
But
Like,
Gears 4? Do we see some CG shit?
maybe it's time to talk about Gears 4. It's unclear to me. It's unclear to me like where in development they are with that game. I don't quite understand. I'm not quite as tuned into Gears, even though I like that series. It might be time, but you have to assume that there's a motive to release Gears HD or Gears HD. And maybe that's it. I'd be less surprised if they were like, we're doing the same thing to 2 and 3 that we're doing to 1, and we lied. Because they basically were like, we're not doing a Gears trilogy, we're doing the first one. And so there'll be Gears talk, but I don't know if it's time for Gears 4. There's no reason for it, because they have to have an appearance at Gamescom, and they're going to have a lot of announcements there. Phil Spencer said that their announcements at Gamescom will be as many as at E3. They're going to have a pretty equivalent presence there. So you have to save something. And with Tomb Raider this fall and with Halo this fall, especially with Halo this fall, there's no reason to muddle the message, and say like, well, our second biggest franchise is also like, who cares? Like, let Halo come out and breathe, and then you talk about Gears. And then 343 goes back and makes Halo 6, while Gears is ramping.
Yep.
And then you're going to go back and forth between those two.
Awesome.